Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. I am live. I'm just going to shout this out to a few different places before I actually get started. Because I'm doing this for a specific reason. Well, it's to give a bit of a head of where I'm up to, what I've been doing. So let's just copy this out to a few places. Sorry, bear with me one moment because I am not the quickest in the world when we have to look at this. I've got one hand taken up blocking the camera because I will be taking you on a little journey with me today, which is the idea. So post this if you are absolutely shattered. Essentially, what I've been doing is I've collated all my stuff to what I'm doing, and now that's still clocking me as viewers, so let's get rid of that. I've set it up all on this table here next to me. It's just here next to me. I will be taking you with me to come and see it, but I'm going to have to run the headset through my phone so you can hear me as I'm talking, as I'm walking around. The reason I've done this is because the Eclectic Beard, a friend of mine, has decided to mention me on one of his videos that he's done recently regarding Warhammer 40,000, as it is the thing that I paint, and he's aware of that. So I'm doing a bit of a where I'm up to, what I need to do, and where I'm going to go from there. But I do need to take a rest because what I thought was going to take me half an hour, 45 minutes, has ended up taking me near 2 hours to sort out. 2 hours. 2 hours. Now, anyone who's watched his video on the Warhammer stuff will hopefully have noticed that he mentioned that people collect quite large quantities of this stuff. And I knew I had a fair bit. I just didn't quite realize how much. Now, I've only put one of my armies out, which is my biggest one, my Space Marine chapter that I'm building, as well as some of the scenery that I've been painting. I'm not painting anything. You're going to see the rest of my work, EB. Basically, you're going to see my entire force, everything for the Space Marines. I'll be putting out the table. Yes, Brian. Well, this one is all thanks to Mr. Eclectic Beard. So now he's here, and he's got at least a couple of people watching, so I'm not talking to myself. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you my army. So, see, I'm going to move my hand away so you can see from this one in a minute. So I'm going to move away, and I'm going to drop this camera. So we get a nice big picture here. Okay, this is the start of my army. Now, on here, we have my characters. My lieutenants here at the front, which I'm still sure I'm pretty much missing 2 more of these. All my captains here at the back. Then we've got banner bearers, my librarians, well, let's zoom out a little bit further, shall we? So we can actually start getting more of a scale of this thing. So this is actually my entire force, all laid out regiment-wise, by unit. So I think I'm actually blocking half the light there. So we have scouts, those interesting little chainsaw wielding dudes that was mentioned in the video that I saw. All 6 of my tactical squads. Now, a lot of these are not up to any decent standard. You can see some of them are still in grey paint form. Yeah. This guy over here is still blue, not undercoated at all. But just for argument's sake, all these are just plain infantry, as are all these, all these, all these. So you can see that's quite a lot of just plain infantry there. We move through into a couple more plain infantry, then some of the heavier elite slots, which are these big chunky guys. If it will zoom, I've got a feeling I'm going to have to put my torch on for this. Wherever it's gone. Torch. Torch cannot be used because camera's being used. All right, fair enough. Thank you very much. Such a wonderful idea. And we've got some more elites over at the back, which are 3 units of Blade Guard veterans, my Terminators, which have only been primed, Stern Guard veterans, 2 units of Vanguard vet. If it'll suit, focus, come on, focus. Vanguard veterans, which are the fly ones, come over into the heavy support sections, which is 2 units of Eradicators, 3 units of Hellblasters, 2 units of missile launcher Devastators, as well as my much feared Centurion Devastators, and some of the scenery that I've been painting as well at the back over there. My nice big large transport vehicle. That's not even a tank, that's a transport. And we come fast attack choice, fast attack units, which are 3 units of assault marines. Some nice bikers. I wish I really should actually bring my light over here with me. Yeah, I know you shouldn't be really editing a video while you're watching me, mate, doing this, because yeah, you got that pretty much right. You are watching one hell of a nutter. Anyone who collects this many things really does need their head testing. So over there we have the rest of the scenery that I've been painting. There's that big tank. As I said, units of bikers, units of jump infantry, more units of jump infantry. The guy that Blake knocked off his stand from over the pond is there. More units of bikers, and just what is generally about half a chapter-ish of Space Marines. Now, I've been doing a lot of work on the scenery recently because getting all these done takes time, and to do them in this quantity is mind-numbing. It is truly mind-numbing. Yeah, I'm trying as best as I can to get as much light on it as possible, because I've got it on a 6 foot by 2 foot table, so it's difficult to get light on it. I can get more. Turn you around that way. I can get more light over here now, over onto the character choices. My missus is also getting another torch. Oh no, there goes one of my chaplains. Yep, there goes one of the chaplains. I believe that is actually, is that Captain's chaplain? I can't remember. Nope, I'm gonna have to go get him off the floor. And luckily he's not broken. Light is a big problem for these, because I am, well, there's about 300 to 400 models here overall. Just, yeah, it's not exactly the best light source in the world, but about 300 to 400 models, and I'm about a third of the way through painting. I had to take a break because the rank and file over there just killed me off. You've probably seen worse, but what I've not got to is the fact that there is a small unit selection back there of models that don't actually fit into anything. They don't actually fit into any units. They're supposed to eventually flesh out my missile launchers. So what I'm going to do now is put that back, because yes, more light is needed, and then I can sit down and start pulling select ones out, hopefully. So there are a couple of custom models that you won't get anywhere else, like this one, for instance. him, you won't get him in a pack anywhere. He was someone that has been built specifically for me, to be the chapter master of my Space Marines. Also, to go with him, I have a bike, which is another limited model that you won't be able to actually buy from Games Workshop. You won't get him anywhere. He is an increased size Forge World model, done to the size of the more modern day Primaris Space Marines. So that's always fun. If I would have thought ahead, I would have actually charged my other phone so I could do this properly. So amongst that, all the characters that I've got, all the, where's you supposed to go now? No, he is supposed to go on this base. So let's just fix him. I've decided to take a flying dive off the table. Luckily, he's push fit into this base, which is nice. That's only because I've managed to see, you say it's all you've seen worse. That's only because I've managed to organize it all nicely. With some of them, it's like you've got 6 units. Each one of these is a unit of 10 that you'll take as a troops. The rest of these ones and most of those going back there are now set up in units of 5. I'll add me to the stream, seeing as I'm here now, and I can. I'll leave that looking.
So I'll take that off mute as well now, because now it's gone through there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of it because it'll be a lot easier that I can bring it up on screen. Hopefully that will help, and then I can talk through everything that I've actually got. Let's take a picture on with the flash. So, as Brian rightly pointed out, I have. See, that's not an Xbox. Well, it is an Xbox pad, but it works with a PC and it's a battery bank, power bank as well. So it's awesome. I don't need them, so I don't even know why I'm using them anymore. Let's take a quick picture. There's no such thing as a quick picture in this world. Camera, but I can at least get a flash on it in this case. Unable to use your flash, try using it again when it's cooled down. That's bad. That is a bad thing. What do you mean when you flash? Yeah, I'm just going to borrow my partner's phone so she can send a picture to me. Because apparently my phone's too hot to take a photograph at the moment. Especially, well, a photograph with the flash on. Let's just check. Have we got flash? Have I stepped back far enough? Nope, I am not stepped back far enough. I got to actually stand on the bloody sofa.
There should be an option to zoom out.
No, I haven't said do that. I want you to take a photograph. Take the photograph. Oh, for God's sakes.
Just tap it.
I did just tap it. No, it's took it now. You know, one item to me. I'm sorry for not being on camera at the moment. There we go. Oh no, I wanted to. Yeah, that'll do it. Sorry for picture on the door. That was done by my son. So yeah, that's not my own artwork. Luckily enough. how am I going to get this onto there now? The wonders of modern technology, and I still can't get to grips with it all properly. But at least I'm going to be able to.
Or is that
I've already sent it.
not onto the chat? Or is that not?
No, you can't send anything up onto the chat. What I'm going to have to do is transfer it onto my PC and then set it up from there. Yay! So I have a new device attached. So let's have a look and let's bring this up and actually have a look now. Where is it? There it is. Media, images. What's today's date is so it should be a whole that one. No, that's a very old one in fact. So let's try that one. There we go. Right, okay. Yes, go on then. Right, share screen, application, and I want that one. Share. So there we go. That's everything that I currently have. Less the 20 scout models that are now I'm in here, I can hopefully zoom and move about. Okay. So I've got another 20 of these little fellows here to build up yet. Hopefully I've got another 10 to go into here as well. I don't know if you can actually see that. However, painting up all these, which is not the best resolution that I've ever had, but it's worked for now. Painting up all them is what's pretty much took it all out of me regarding painting miniatures. It's took me so long to get that center section up to some standard that now I've got these to catch up with, the Terminators to catch up with. My Dreadnoughts are not doing too bad. None of my assault squads, which are the 3 5-man squads in front of the Dreadnoughts, have been painted. The majority of the bikes have been done. Most of the, I noticed there's a guy falling over there. Most of the chainsaw dudes, which are these ones, have been done to a 3-color minimum. All 20 of them. I think it's 20, 5, 10, 15, yeah, 20 of them have been done to a 3-color minimum. The majority of the intercessors, which are the ones that look like the guys with the chainsaws but just have a gun, they've all been done. That's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65 of them, which is nice round number, as no one noticed. But it's all my older Marines now that I need to look into and start doing, which are the ones that go up in little 10 blob units around here. So these 60, come here, these 60 here need to be done, as well as those 5 Terminators, anything that's blue or grey. So all my scouts need to be finished off, which are going to be my 10th company. Then eventually all this is going to be broken down into individual companies, and eventually I'm going to have my own chapter. That's the idea, whether or not my missus agrees with it, and let's actually get enough to actually do a chapter. which is about 1,000 models, is my intention. So I've been going through the scenery, as you can see there on the right, the little bits of blue. That's what I've been doing more recently, just so I don't burn myself out on doing so much infantry, because I have a lot, as you can see. Now, the picture that I sent earlier to EB, where it was all a mess over the table, didn't look quite as organized as that, so it did look more of a mess. But yeah, there's approximately about 300-400 models there out of the 1,000 that I'm going to need, and that's what my channel is basically about. Yeah, 1,000 to make one chapter, and this is my own chapter as well. So if you go looking through the books, you will not read about this chapter because this is my chapter. They are a successor chapter from the Salamanders at the moment. However, I have a habit of bouncing between who they're going to be successors of. Most of the time it's Salamanders. However, I do like the Dark Angels. The Dark Angels are very nice army. So you kind of bounce between the two. But most of the time, yeah, they are Salamander successors, which EB will eventually get onto. Well, I've been collecting this lot for over 25 years, Bry. Ish, give or take. But it's only been the last year and a half that I've actually done a push to get them all painted and get them all up to a playable standard. Now, since I've started my channel, I've painted over half of them to a tabletop standard, which is mostly my primary units, which are the ones that are this size. I don't know why I'm showing you like that, because you can't see because of the way I've got the screen layout, which are this size. These are the primary units. The old school Marines, the classic Marines, are the ones that are, let's find one actually looks half decent. He doesn't, but he'll do it for the size comparison. A little bit smaller, so they represent the same style of captain on the battle top. I can only take one or the other, but the classic Marines are much smaller than the more modern day primaries. No, hopefully I can get them done. I say hopefully. I can have the majority of them done to a tabletop standard by the end of the year, if I actually crack on with it properly and sit down and work through it all, like I did with my intercessors. All 65 of them I sat down and worked through and went, there's all the blue, there's all the red, there's all the silver, and I batch paint right the way through until I've got all that piece done. I'm leaving the characters alone until right at the very end, because, well, most of them, as you can see, that one's been painted to some degree. Tabard's been done, he's got gold on him, his shield's been painted up, so they have got colour on them if they've been some more recent models, mainly because those ones are easy to paint with them being a slightly larger size. Going down to the smaller size, they are very difficult to paint. Let's see if I can find Power Fist with all these ribbons on him. There he is. For instance, this little chap here, just down that one side of him alone, he's got so many ribbons on him and so many parchments and little purity seals and other little knickknacks. She's sat right over there watching all this, and she's cursing me for getting it all out, and I have to have it all put away before I go anywhere. So yeah, I'm under very strict rules as to why I can do this right now. And the only reason I'm actually doing it is because of Mr. Eclectic Beard doing the name drop on his 40k video, and I dread to think of how many people might actually pop up to see what I do. Here's what I'm doing. This is, ta-da, that is my army, all laid out behind me across the table there, including the scenery that I've painted. Only the scenery that I've painted. I do have more scenery that I've not painted. I've got my orcs I need to arrange and sort out. I mean, I've got just a small selection here just to show you the difference. I've got my orc army, which is in various states of repair and painting, as well as my big stomper, which is up there, and my vehicles for my orcs, my 6 bikes, 2 buggies, I think it's 5 attack copters, close to 100 standard infantry, as well as the bigger infantry as well, which I think I've got about 20 of. Then I've got another 10-man squad for chaos to build, and I've got a lot. There's a lot there. The reason I have this channel is because it gives me time to sit down, concentrate, paint, and be able to see it on the screen so I can see any mistakes. This isn't my study. This is my living room. This is my front room. As I said, I've got to take all this down, put it all away again, because in the morning there is going to be a rampaging toddler coming straight in, hell for leather at 120 miles an hour. He can't be there. He's gonna have to go before he comes anywhere near the room. So yeah, that's gonna be my next 2 hours worth of work, is putting it all back in the box. A loft extension would be brilliant. Just a general room to do it in would be awesome, but I don't have that at the moment. So beggars can't be choosers. I choose to do it where I can, which is my PC desk. So if I point the camera down, you can see that's my PC desk, keyboard and everything. Yes, yeah. If I was to leave all this out when he came down in the morning, it would be gone. If you look at Games Workshop, just for the prices, a unit of 10 intercessors, once you buy them in, I've got 65 of them. Even over here, they're costing you, I think, it's about £35 for a unit of 10. And I said about 65 of them. Same, I think it's £32.50 for a 10-man tactical squad. I've got 6 10-man tactical squads. A Devastator squad, again, is going to cost you about £30 for a 5-man squad. I've got 2 of those. Centurion Devastators are near enough £50 for a unit of 3. Same with that big transport. That's, if you look in the top right hand corner, the big square blob. That's near enough £50 as well. So there's a lot of money on that table that I do not want it to be destroyed. That's taken me a very long time to collect. So gradually, over the period of when I go live and when I stream next time, I won't be doing any painting this time because I'm not set up for it. I'm going to continue doing the scenery for the next couple of streams just so I can get those finished off, and then I'll be going back onto my Primaris units to get those finished. After I've got my Primaris units finished, I get to go rummaging through my bits box, and that will help me flesh out my Devastator squads up to full 10-man units and gather any shoulder pads, weapons that are missing, anything that needs replacing. Like, for instance, these 2 gentlemen here. And these 2 gentlemen have been made out of a Grey Knights box set to be 2 captains or 2 lieutenants. And they both managed to lose their melee weapon. Don't know how they've both managed to lose their melee weapon, but they've managed to lose a melee weapon. So I'm going to have to find a replacement for those, glue them on, paint them up, and get them ready to go on. I've got 1, 2, 3 tubs full of bits, 1 mostly Space Marine, 2 tubs full of art bits, just to reassemble and make as many models as I can out of. That was a very strange noise. So that's my plan. My plan is to finish off what about backgrounds? What backgrounds? This is for a game, remember. This is for a tabletop war skirmish game. Now, the scenery makes up the backgrounds. You place it all over the place, like the. Let's go back to the picture. Like the crane that I've been painting, the reactors, the power generators, the silos, the thermal stacks.
The board can have stuff on it as well.
Yeah, you can actually have boards that have stuff on it as well. My rocks that I did on much early videos still got very, very large containment silo, which needs painting, which isn't on the board at all. Along with all my ruins, which aren't on the board, and various other pieces. None of my pipe networks are down on the board. Have you not seen the painting, the picture that I did of you, EB? Just one moment. I've already got one somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Already done you, mate. See? You know it's you. It says disco round every time. Already done a picture. Oh, I'm making squeaky noises because of the board behind me. So yeah, I've already done a picture of you. Don't worry about that. Keep meaning to send it off. I don't just want to send off one piece of paper though. If I'm going to send something off, I'll rather send a couple of things, like I did with Squirrel. I'd rather send more than one piece of paper, so that's why it's still sat on my desk waiting to go. And I don't just want to send Blake and JV stuff to you to send to them because that feels very cheeky. So once I've got something, in fact, that's a good idea. You mentioned models, didn't you? I've got about 3 primed white models that I might be able to send because they're extras that I can't fit into that lot at the minute because they're either going 5s or 10s, and well, I've got 3 left over. So I might be able to send that. Let me look into that one. Get me thinking now. So yeah, that was my point on this one. I didn't want it to be a very long video. I'm limited on the amount of StreamYard hours that I have. So let's remove that. So we can stop sharing the screen. So that's where I'm up to. I'm most of the way through my Primaris units with 3 color minimum. They need washing and highlighting afterwards. But because of the quantity, I'm going to give myself a break. I'm going to do through scenery. Once I've finished that small amount of scenery, I'll move back onto the Primaris units, finish those off, do the rest of the scenery, which is the pipe networks and the walkways, the gantry walkways, which are these, as well as the legs that hold them up. So I'll be moving on to them after I've done the Primaris stuff. Then once I've done the Primaris stuff, I'll move on to the Classic Marines. Get my Classic Marines finished. Then that should be my Space Marine army painted what I have for models. If I can get that done by the end of the year, I've got a better chance of being able to get more models. Better chance, not 100% guaranteed though. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I need to get a lot more painting doing because that's a lot of models that I need doing, and some of them haven't even been primed yet or even put together. As I said, with these snipers, I've still got another 5 snipers to put together and another 10 standard little ones with bolt guns. Yeah, I'll need to put them together and priming. So all these, no, you're not having all of these. All right, Jaffas and crumpets. Yeah, well, Jaffa cakes and crumpets is a different matter. Sending food stuff through the post is just dubious to me. I'd rather send something that's not going to get squished, or not easily anyway. So nice solid plastic. Very good. So that's where I'm up to. That's the rundown that I was doing tonight as a Toblerone. My missus is actually watching and I didn't realise. So she just spotted the Toblerone come up. Yeah,
We've got a new one now, caramel.
a new caramel Toblerone. Right, now you've mentioned that, we're gonna have to send that. Okay, so that's gonna be my job for tomorrow. I've got the two eldest back in school full time. The little one's in school in the afternoon, so we can get a small box labeled up, ship it over. Looks like I've got a job tomorrow now. Got a picture, 3 models. Evening, Buzzard. How you doing, mate? Now this has turned into what was a display of what I've got from the Warhammer Army. Now it's turned into what can EB try and eke out of me as freebies. So far, he's got 3 models, a Toblerone, and maybe something else. All depending, of course, on the missus. Going back to Bry's point, though, do you have backgrounds? Do you have something to put on? Yes, I actually have boards that I lay down rather than that big blue stuff that you can see stood up at the door behind me there. I do actually have boards that fold out to make a more interesting battlefield. Which looks something like this. So once I can't unfold it entirely because they are blue. Well, actually, I might be able to unfold most of it without smacking myself. But yeah, something like this would go down as a board. Then you would lay scenery over the top of it, and then you would play on them. But for me, a standard size board is roughly about 6 foot by 4 foot, just so we've got enough room to fit 2 armies on there. If anyone does come onto my channel and looks back through my back catalogue, there is one battle report on there which is very badly filmed and very badly done, but it is my one and only battle report against my friend, who, despite him trying not to get on camera, manages to sit on camera through most of it. And that is on a 6 foot by 4 foot board throughout it all. I can't even remember who won that. I think he did. I can't remember. But you can play on smaller. So is that battleground? Well, it is the battleground. You will have, each time you play, you have missions, you have different objectives to get, and or you can just play kill, wipe each other off the board. But with it being a dice-based game, it's not always as simple as he shoots him, he's dead. You've got to roll to hit, you've got to roll to wound, they've got to try and save it, and then you've got to, hopefully you shot him with something with sufficient damage to take his models off the board. With mine, it's not usually that simple, because they've got reasonably good armor save, quite tough. Most of them have 2 wounds, so single damage weapons, just you've got to really fire them in there. So with the Imperial Guard that EB reacted to earlier, all those little las guns, it would take the mass firepower that you'd have to put out to take small units of mine out, as I found out the hard way when I played it. My units were especially good at taking out his units, and once I took out the big dangers to my units, he struggled to cause any damage. Which is why I like the ones I do. Eventually, there will be a reaction to this faction, not specifically my chapter, but this faction as a whole, on the Eclectic Beards channel. So I believe I put a link in the description already, so please check it out if you've not already. I think 100% of my subscriber base actually already subscribes to the Eclectic Beard, so I've put it in there just in case I do have some subscribers who don't know who he is. Please go check him out. But now I've got a nice hour and a half, 2 hours to go put all this away. Now that I've explained what my plan is going forward into the future. And as I said, I wanted to keep it short, and I'm already 40 minutes in. How I'm 40 minutes in, I have no idea. So I'm going to call it quits here. Thank you all, everybody, for coming. Bri, Beaky, EB, and I believe that's everybody who spoke that I know is in here. Obviously, I have 5 viewers at the moment, and anyone in the future, thank you so much for coming to watch. I don't do this to be a YouTuber. I do this to give myself time to paint. So if you do ever pop into a live stream, please feel free to talk to me. Because I'm there just doing my hobby. Essentially, that is what I'm doing on my channel. That is what it's just showing people my hobby. The problem I found with a lot of people who do show my hobby on YouTube is they edit it down so much and they make it look so quick and so easy. Mine is to show that it's not necessarily quick. It's not necessarily easy. It does take time. It does take patience, and it does take practice. And that's what I've been doing. So thanks for joining me, everyone, and have a good evening, good night, good morning, whenever you're watching this. But please enjoy yourselves and have a good day. Bye-bye.